Hi there, this is Haley Hogan, and I'm here with one of our Selecting the Best ECBs and TRMs for Your Project speakers, Jerry Fifield, fresh off of his masterclass series talking about his upcoming session which dives into ECB and TRM selection. So Jerry, let's jump right in. Why should our audience sign up?
Well, the whole intent of this particular module is to get into and delve into the BMPs that can be used for erosion control that are manufactured, namely the erosion control blankets and turf reinforcement mats. We spent a lot of time going over and bringing in criteria that's been set up by ECTC, which is the Erosion Control Technology Council, and showing how that applies and the standards they apply for allowing designers and reviewers to select the proper product, be it for a hillside or be it for a drainage channel. And each one of those require an understanding of the product, what it does, what it doesn't do, and what are the limitations of the products and where you use them. So we go into a lot of detail to try to explain all of that, including bringing up concepts of shear stress, flow velocities, and so forth for channels, and then also to demonstrate that on hillsides some of the mitigation measures that might be in place may not be necessarily that beneficial to use because the products themselves may not actually meet up any certain specifications or may be actually an overkill when you apply it on a hillside or even in a drainage channel. So basically we get in there and really do a good technical analysis of what we're talking about when we select an erosion control blanket or a turf reinforcement mat.
Great, so we'll be getting into the details of what we should be using and when. Speaking of selecting the right ECBs and TRMs, what's the driving factor of why it's important what you pick?
Well, I think you could boil that down to one word: money. If you choose a product that's very robust and something that costs a significant amount of money, it's going to be a lot of cost on a construction site that maybe you may not need. So you're trying to come up with a product that indeed is going to be cost effective, easy to install, and will be there and for the long term to enhance the vegetation establishment, as well as protect the hillside against erosion and the channel against erosion. So money, or maybe a better word would be cost, is the biggest reason I can see why you would want to learn this material.
True, cost is always a major factor to consider. What are some of the limitations of the different RECPs available?
Well, again, on the ECBs, one of the biggest limitations that I am aware of anyway is choosing the cheapest product that one can find on the market, and that in turn will be one that's going to usually fail, and if it fails it's going to cost you twice as much to stabilize that hillside. In the drainage channels, you want a product that can withstand a certain amount of velocity and shear stress so it doesn't get torn apart as waters flow down the channels. So the limitation there is you have got to select one that indeed has undergone some rigorous testing like ECTC requires of all their products, so that when you have a design flow going down that drainage channels, you don't need to worry about the product being ripped out because of the flow of water. Once it gets well established and get the vegetation in there, then you can almost walk away and not have to worry too much about it. And that requires you maybe to spend a little bit of money up front to a better product, but at the same time get the product in there that you know is going to withstand the flows that are going to go down that drainage channels, so that you don't have to go back and redo the project all over again because of failure of a cheaper product.
Thanks. And just to wrap it up, what will our attendees take away from this session?
My opinion, I think they'll be taking away a good understanding of the products, the different types of products that can be used, and probably most importantly, when you should be using certain products for, say, a hillside stabilization or a channel stabilization. It gets into the nitty-gritty and provides as much information, we hope anyway, that will be able to provide support for you if indeed you have to be accountable, say a court case or whatever the situation may come up. So you can back up what you've decided to put into a drainage channel or on the hillside.
So it all depends on what your scenario is and what's best for the site. Thanks. Well, that's all we have time for today. You can sign up for this Selecting the Best ECBs and TRMs for your project webinar at foresteruniversity.net, as well as Jerry's other erosion control webcasts in our library of 175 courses, or check out Jerry and Tina's other clips at our Forester University YouTube channel.